Alright guys, this is Pool alongside my good buddy Senex here, and we're going to be bringing you a pretty special match. It's going to be on a relatively new and interesting ideal for StarCraft 2. The maps, as you can see here, contain only 6 mineral patches as well as one Vespian gas, and it's actually a rich Vespian gas geyser. So that basically allows for more macro-intensive many bases everywhere type play, and kind of limits the whole idea of one base all ins.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best changes that this introduces, is that a one base all in is pretty much in what normal StarCraft 2 would be a cheese, like a 2-Rax or something like that. And what would be a one base all in, like if you want to do a 1-1-1 against Protoss, you have to take your expansion in this. There's just no way you're going to be able to afford it because of the reduced resources that you have available to you. Yeah,
there's just no way. And I mean, as you guys will see, I'm sure the mineral patches in this game will most likely get very oversaturated, just because I'm sure these players probably aren't used to playing on these maps, and it's easy to do. It does not take long for the patches to get oversaturated, so you have to expand really early.
Though this is actually a rematch. We casted these guys before, and I'm going to be uploading that to both of our YouTube channels. You can check me out at wiseoldsenex, or like youtube.com/wiseoldsenex. And Pull, where can they find you?
youtube.com/PullSC.
All right. And so one of the things that we noticed in the last game was that Mafia played a very aggressive expansion-based style. He ended up having 8 bases at the end of the game, and that let him get this unbelievably large army. There was like 160 Zerglings in the end of it. And it was really, really, really tough for DaNoSauR to end up keeping up with. So we're going to have to see if DaNoSauR is going to actually be able to expand as aggressively as he needs to keep up with what the Zerg player is doing.
Yeah. So as we can see here for our Terran player, he has chosen to get his gas, so he might actually be doing some kind of possibly reactored Hellion type play. That's definitely a build, definitely an opener that you can still do regardless of the changes to the minerals, but of course you will need to expand quickly after that.
He does have to watch out for having all 3 guys in the gas, because you already see that he's almost up to 150 gas, which would get him the factory and the reactor. Because this is a high-yield gas, you're going to need to have usually just 1 or 2 guys in it to get everything you want, and if you have all 3 in, it means you're going for something incredibly tech-heavy, like Cloak Banshees or Starport play or something along those lines.
Yeah, most definitely. So we can see DaNoSauR trying to take out that Overlord there. Does not manage to get it, as xGKingMaFia does get out of sight and out of range of those Marines there.
Though he could probably send the Marines around to snipe that, because I don't think that gap in between the 2 bases is actually big enough to shield the Overlord from a Marine on either side. Doesn't look like he's going to be doing that, though. Right now he is getting the reactor and the factory just like you predicted, but already you'll see he has too many guys on gas still, I think. He's almost up to 200 gas, and doesn't look to be going into... Oh, actually, there's a second factory coming out, and another reactor. It looks like he's going to be double reactor Hellion play.
Awesome. So I think that'll be really good, because, I mean, as we've said, the economy is definitely going to be heavily focused by our Zerg player. He already has his his expansion up, so there's going to be tons of drones for the Hellions to take out, and most likely we'll be having a decent amount of Zerglings on the map.
It's going to be very dangerous for DaNoSauR, though, because this is even more all-in than it would be in a normal map.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
He's probably not going to have the money to expand after this, and I think he needs to stop SCV production right now. So you look at his base, he's at 16 workers trying to gather from just 6 mineral patches, which means that he's already super saturated. Even the furthest away mineral patches already have 3 guys on them, and you'll see the guys running around trying to find some place for them to actually get some work. Much like in today's economy, political zing.
Very nice there. Now we do see DaNoSauR trying to get up the ramp of our Zerg player, and not going to manage to do that, as the Spinecrawler does a decent amount of damage to those Hellions.
Very good job with just 4 Zerglings shutting down those Hellions, but he's already up to 4 Hellions, and against just 4 Zerglings and 1 Spinecrawler, it's going to be very hard for him to hold off.
Now a pretty nice micro here from the Terran player. Does manage to get up the ramp, but the Queen is going to force him back down, and he's going to have to run away for now. Now, like you said, the Terran player definitely needs his expansion. I'm actually surprised that he didn't get his factory and then get his CC and then wait on that second factory.
I'm so depressed for the Terran player right now. That hard supply block just waiting for those 2 supply depots to come out. It means that you're stuck on just 5 aliens. But wait, they're going into natural and trying to get some damage on, but they got thrown back pretty effectively. Let's look at the units lost tab. It actually, the Terran players lost a lot more units in just minerals than our Zerg player, and in the units killed tab, there we go. Just 4 workers killed by the Terran in that whole attack.
Yeah, the trade was definitely not worth it there. I feel like he could have done a little bit better job with the micro, but that's okay. He's continuing to do some more aggression with his Hellions. He probably would benefit from some repairs there too. They just have a couple Hellions that are almost dead.
Yeah. Here comes the expansion from the Terran player, just building it right in place. I really like that decision because even though it's a lot riskier, it's incredibly important when you have 29 SCVs on just 4 mineral patches to get them over to those other minerals as fast as you possibly can. And there's another run-by that's trying to work its way in.
Yep, DaNoSauR getting cornered here though by the Queens and the Zerglings. Will he manage to get out of this corner though? It does not look like he's going to be able to, so losing even more units, even more minerals right there. And if you will take a look at the production tab, if you do not have it open, the Spire is almost completed for our Zerg player, and there are something like 2 Marines on the map.
There's actually exactly 2 Marines on the map. No engineering bay or anything. It's going to be incredibly difficult for him to hold off. Even 1 Mutalisk would rock his world.
Yeah. So Terran's definitely going to be in trouble here if he does not get a scan off or do something to get an idea of these Mutas coming. At least get an engineering bay to get some turrets up. But that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, he is double producing Marines right now, which might give him enough, but you'll look at the Zerg just dumped all of his money into 8 Mutalisks and the +1 flyer attack already on the way. Getting an evolution chamber as well to start those upgrades for his Zerglings, and he's moving into tank production, the Terran player, and I don't think that that's the right idea. He's spending a lot of money on anything that doesn't shoot up is not the right decision.
Yeah, so his mech build is definitely vulnerable to Mutalisks.
And look at those Mutalisks, they were just rallied straight across the map. He knows that those Hellions aren't going to be able to get in anything with 2 spine crawlers and actually just 1 full page of Zerglings. No way it's going to happen.
Oh, no way, not at all. And not even any bunkers or anything for Marines to run into here. So these Mutas are just going to come in and have a heyday, going straight for the SCVs. And let's just count the kills as they happen. There's just so many workers being killed here from the Zerg, by the Zerg player.
The part that bothers me the most is that right now we have just 10 Marines against 8 Mutalisks. He could 1A into this army and win.
Yeah, and this high ground, low ground position right here is just so great for Muta harass, as there's just not enough Marines to split between the 2 positions.
Yeah, he was targeting that refinery, which honestly I think would have been doing the Terran player a favor because he has 700. Yeah. You can't just take the gases and throw 3 guys into them and expect to actually be getting anything out of the resources that you're mining. And he doesn't need to be wasting his time on those. He's helping out his opponent.
Yeah. Maybe he's helping the Terran realize that he probably just does not need that much gas.
It's educational killing going on in this game.
This is what you're doing wrong. These are the buildings you don't need to have. I'll help you out.
Exactly. Help me, help you.
It's not Age of Empires where you can just elite.
Trying to find their way in, but look at all those Zerglings. They don't have any upgrades quite yet. Let's look at the production tab, but he has his 1-1 already on the way. The Baneling nest coming in, and I'm just not seeing this for our Terran player. He has one missile turret that just went up, being mounted. Will drive the Mutalisks away.
Yeah. But, you know, look at Zerg. He's definitely slipping on his macro, though. I mean, not to be, like, critiqueful here, because he's definitely doing a good job in the game, but he's got, like, 600 minerals right now. He could probably have about 2 or 3 more bases if he really wanted to.
I do think that he should be trying to deal with those Hellions that are of his base. I think that he's emphasizing harassment a lot more than he is emphasizing taking a lot of bases, which might actually be a really useful and educational part of this game for people to see, that it could be that just getting the right units out and using them extremely effectively on a low number of bases is as viable as taking a lot of bases and hitting your opponent with very large armies.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. I mean, if you have enough to do decent harass as well as defend, and you can just get as many bases as you want to, then you'll be good. There's no reason to get a 200 army before getting a 4th or 5th base, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I was just kind of looking around. I think that our Zerg player just kind of can't believe that this is... I think he thinks that it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Looking around.
It's like, this never happens. What?
Exactly. Where's your proxy base? Where's your hidden, like, 3 planetary fortresses in the bottom right that are keeping you in this game?
So, just look at the supply right now. Our Zerg player has 110 versus 86 for Terran, and no upgrades.
Supply down is a big deficit, particularly when you're not going to be able to build up an army as quickly.
Yeah. Sadly, only 1 turret per base to defend against these mutas. Terran is just not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, he is definitely stuck on that 1 base. He is going for double siege tank production, which is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, and that the only possible way he's going to deal with that number of Zerglings. See, there's 91 already on the map. He needs something to just clear out the riffraff. But on the other hand, it's leaving him highly vulnerable to a sudden muta transition. If our Zerg player, with the amount of money he has right now, just dumped all of that, like, 800, 700 into Mutalisks, he could probably just engage the... Well, not quite engage the Marines, but... he'd be able to do so much damage with DaNoSauR would have to GG.
Yeah. Well, and you know what he's doing right now is he's just getting enough bases so that he can attack just basically relentlessly and run the Terran over.
Yeah, I do think he's going to have that July Zerg moment where, like, from here on out, nothing but he commits to the kill.
Yeah. And, you know, something I will say about having this many tanks is he needs to have more Marines, because not only is he, like, low on Marine count, but he's having to worry about the liability of keeping these tanks alive. And basically he's going to have to cover his tanks with his Marines, but that's just not going to be able to happen with that few Marines. But it does look like Mutalisks are going to be coming in here to try to do some more harassment, and then do get warded off by that turret.
We do have combat shields coming, and like only getting that 16 minutes into the game shows that there's definitely weirdness going on. But wait, here's a huge move out from our Terran player. I think that it's not the best time to attack, but pretty much the only time to attack. Yeah. He needs to do something before this 4th and 5th base kick in, because that will be the end of the game if he doesn't get something to happen. He is spreading his units out very effectively, trying to cover them from the Mutalisks and prevent the Banelings from coming in. But the Banelings actually aren't morphed just yet.
Well, you know, you want to notice one thing is that there are no medevacs out, and stem is not complete at all. So all Zerg has to do is focus his Marines down, and it's basically
I missed that he didn't have stem.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. I can't imagine that that's anything but a just straight up error.
Yeah.
And I don't like his scan right there. You don't want to, when you're already on creep, you don't want to scan right over the arc. Splash damage will hurt you.
So, I mean, he is trying to come up here and take out this base, and he's doing okay at it. But Zerg is just waiting for the right moment and just send a little bit... Oh, there we go. Here's the entire army from the Zerg. Going after those tanks with those Banelings, and the Zerglings... Oh, man, taking out so many tanks right there. And Muta's cleaning up all the Marines, and that's GG. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and the well played and the good luck, which... I don't quite understand. It's a tournament going on that we missed. It wasn't the tournament going on that we missed, but...
Well, there you go. That's... Man, I think that just basically came down, though, to mistakes by the Terran. Not getting his base out early enough.
The beginning part of the game was a lot more all-in than he'd anticipated it being, and that big supply block in the beginning kept him from getting that huge swell of Hellions that you're eventually going to want.
Yeah.
Because you need to be producing off of those 2 factories just non-stop. And so when he was supply blocked for, like, pretty much a full production cycle of 4 Hellions, and he was running around with, like, 6 instead of 10... it just wasn't very scary for the Zerg anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, for Zerg, they have a pretty good advantage with those Vespian geysers being so gas-heavy. They can get, they can get enough gas for mutas pretty easily off of 2 bases.
That's true. I do think that Terran is going to need to either just be taking gas less often, or trying to get those more gas-heavy units out, like some more... ghosts on the field, perhaps, and other things like that. That's actually too bad, as I think about it, with the recent ghost nerf, because I really think that a more effective way of handling that would have been to just make it so that it was 45 damage, 25 versus massive. so that you could continue to use snipe against things like Mutalisks.
Right.
Because having like 4 ghosts intermingled with his Marines running around with a lot of snipes going on would have made those Mutalisks a lot less happy running into the middle.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say about this match?
Just one thing actually that we forgot to mention in the beginning. This is played on Entombed Valley, which is a map that we haven't been seeing too much of. There are right now only 2 maps that I'm aware of which are experimenting with this 6-mineral, 1 high-yield gas style, and that is Entombed Valley and Devolution. So I'm going to be trying to bring you a couple more of these, definitely with Pull if he's interested in continuing casting, so that we can look at how is the matches actually different when you're dealing with a different map.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave us feedback too. Both of us are relatively new to casting. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, talk to everybody later. Peace.